estamos en Madrid. Esta es mi primera vez en esta ciudad y país. Today is day 2 in the city. Arrived yesterday, bit of a write-off of a day, but we did hit a few spots, like where we are right now, Plaza de Mayor, and we hit up a food market. It's at Mercado San Miguel. Very nice food, quite high end, a little bit expensive. Yeah. Thoughts on your trip so far?
So far, so good.
Don't sound convinced. So plans for today are going to the Royal Palace, that thing.
It's raining.
It's starting to spit, so I might get indoors or underneath some shelter. As you may or may not see, a couple of stragglers in the back of the video are my parents who have decided to tag along for this first part of the trip. So much fun for me and much fun for our personal tour guide. Hello, day 4 in Madrid. Yesterday was, you say it was eventful. Went to the Museo del Prado, but unfortunately we weren't allowed to take any photos or videos of it, so no footage of that. But today we are, which museum are we going to?
Museo Reina Sofía.
Yep, that one. What's it known for?
Modern arts.
And yesterday was more of a Spanish collection.
Yeah, so there were a lot of religious iconography and a lot of pieces from the royal collection of portraits of the royal family. We got to see the Habsburg jewel, which was fascinating.
Didn't know that was a specific thing people went and saw, but now I do.
And we saw Las Meninas as well.
Yep, but first we are off to get breakfast at this little place we passed on our way to dinner last night. And then we'll do a little bit of shopping to prepare for the cold in Andorra, which Ines had just showed me last night on the weather app. It's a little colder than I expected, so I might have to pick up a thermal and maybe a jacket or two for Ines.
Yes. Yeah.
What you got there?
The history of my last name.
So, what is the history of your last name, Delgado?
Apparently it's a very good history with lots of successful knights helping with the reconquest of Spain.
For some reason they didn't have the history of my last name. I'm not sure why, I think they just must have run out that day. But we might find some elsewhere.
In China.
to Andorra after an interesting flight in and then an interesting bus journey into the actual country, because the airport is located in the border of Spain. Andorra is, as you can see, up in the mountains, so not really any land for an airport. The plane took a very sharp left turn to land. It was an interesting feeling in the stomach. So, what do you know about Andorra?
Absolutely nothing. The national language is Catalan. They are up in the Pyrenees. They're supposedly rich and potentially sexy. That's all I know.
Thoughts on these properties?
I want a cello.
So today is our last day in Andorra. We are here in this very orange bus station. Interesting last night. I wanted to try some snails for the first time, and they tasted very good, but around halfway into the dinner I started getting a bit sniffly, a bit clogged up, and that actually turned into a allergic reaction to the snails, which I didn't know I had food allergies, but now I do. So that led to a trip to the emergency department of Andorra. They worked pretty fast, but I mean, lesson learnt. Will not be as adventurous with my food for a while, unless the country provides free healthcare to tourists, which Andorra definitely doesn't. So you came in not knowing much about Andorra. Have you learned anything?
No. They like guns and pepper spray and tasers. They got some very pretty pink tasers, very tempting. And they love cigarettes.
Also not sure if you can see in the video, but yeah, the allergic reaction caused these round puffy circles to occur around my eyes.
Like panda eyes, but red. Perfect circles.
Ines picked it up, and thankfully she did. Well, not thankfully for my wallet, but thankfully she did.
I'm trying to save your life.
In hindsight, it probably would have been nice content to film, but Ines did ask if I wanted to film this. I don't know if it was a joke or not, but like it would have been some nice content, and it would have been an interesting look.
It was not a joke.
Anything for the content. Back on the move today, taking my first fast train. I think so. From Madrid to Cordoba. It was an early morning wake up with a less than average sleep. Lots of people shouting on the street, which is nice to hear throughout the night. Don't you think so?
No.
Yeah, she agrees. Here in Cordoba, in the background you see a Roman bridge built in the 1st century BC, so a wee while ago. So that was Calle de Flores. It wasn't as appealing with all the people and the single file line going through it. So maybe a pass for now. Goodbye, Cordoba.
Adios.
Thoughts on Cordoba?
It's quite nice. I forgot how small it was though. It's a shame we didn't have, say, like half a day to go out to see the Medina and Alcázar. But other than that, it was really nice. People were really lovely.
You see all these earrings? So the basic design of the circle and the big drop is traditional for flamenco dancers. So especially like this, or like these ones too. So the dancers will wear them, as well as a lot of other decor on their body. These are the peinetas. So especially like this, you put them in your hair, or like this one here at the bottom, you put them in your hair at the base of your bun at the top, and then over there you can put some flowers or a veil. That's how you do it.
Unfortunately, they're all sold out of tickets for the Alcázar, but that's okay. We're off to Plaza de España. What was your favorite part of Plaza de España?
Seeing Granada, obviously. Oh, and Malaga was nice too. My granddad is from Malaga.
tired. But yesterday, Ines took me to our first flamenco show, and it was really good. I don't know what I was expecting, but it felt like there's a lot of passion behind the singing, the dancing, and the emotions from the dancers felt very primal, if that made sense. Raw, yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. I was really looking forward to seeing a show. It's very nice that we saw it in Sevilla, where there's a big flamenco culture. So it was very special. I'm glad we shared that moment.
Today we are off to one of Ines's hometowns. We'll get to that later. Day 2 here in Niguelas. Not sure how much footage there would have been beforehand, but I'm not sure if you can hear it. I've caught a bit of a cold. I think it was a bit of a change in temperature from Sevilla to, well, here to the mountains. But now we're going to go for a light walk. Paseo de la Pavilla. So even though Niguelas is this village pretty deep in the south of Spain, there are a lot of tourists that come here for all these walks that are around. Seem to be quite popular amongst European citizens. Made it to the city of Granada, and what we're walking through is a passageway to essentially the old square, where it's been kept the same for, well, since it was built. Granada means pomegranate, and so you can see a lot of pomegranate paraphernalia across the city. Had a few change of plans this morning. Finally made it to Granada. We had hopes of entering the Alhambra, but for some reason October is still a very busy tourist season, and so they've sold out the tickets for the rest of the month. But we have been told that there are a few free entries into certain parts of the Alhambra, so we're going to try and find those and see what it looks like. For yet another tourist trap. I've also turned Ines into a tourist. Made it on board our favorite airline.
I never want to fly Ryanair again.
Made it to Marrakesh, just as chaotic as I expected. Here in old Marrakesh, had our first dinner. It's probably one of the best dinners we've had on this entire trip.
Yeah, 100%.
Now we're taking trying to take a stroll through the markets. Try not to run into people and try not to film too many people. Today's our first and only full day in Marrakesh. We are starting it off in the Bahia Palace, and then we're going to do a few rounds around the old Marrakesh. So it's been a few days since I've actually recorded anything of substance, mainly because it's the end of our trip and I just haven't been bothered. So after 3 weeks heading home, it's been a really good trip. Seen a lot of things, a lot of moving around the place. I am also very excited to get back to my routine. We will be back in Europe next year, just in different places for the start again, but next we'll be heading to